So, it's hailing like Helgelas down here in Milwaukee. I mean, talk about Issa. And earlier today it was in the 60s. This is just wonderful for November in Milwaukee.
It got me thinking about how strange our language is, because technically you could say hail the hail, right? And that's strange. It's just a homonym, I think, is when a word sounds the same but it has multiple meanings. Because Helgelas, I mean, Hagelaz, I also add an L there, like it's Hailgalaz. I've done that for years, and it's just based on maybe this video was meant to be because I really like this form of weather. I don't know. You have that meaning of Hagelaz, the weather itself, but then Hailsa is also this form of salutation or greeting that we could use as in the old phrases, hail fellow, or hail fellow, well met. We've all heard of Jack Frost, but if you Google Jack Frost, you're going to see something such as the claim that Jack Frost comes from Viking lore. Draw your own conclusions, or why don't you guys tell me what you've heard of this before, if you're from Iceland or wherever. RebeccaOnTheWing.com. It is thought that the legend of Jack Frost originated from Viking lore. His modern name is an anglicized rendition of Jokul Frosti, meaning Jack Frost. The son of the Nordic god Kari, Jokul was a nymph-like creature who painted beautiful frosty patterns on windows during the night. He was the personification of the chill that arrived with winter. So basically, you might be cool, but you'll never be Jokul. I mean, he's literally fucking made out of coolness, and you can't compete with that. So of course I had to at least look it up in my grimoire and see if this was an actual term. And it turns out it is. Jokul is the Icelandic term for icicle, ice, glacier. The term frost itself also, when I looked it up, it's Old High German and Old Norse for frost. So if you go back like 1,000 years, they were still talking about the frost. That word has been around for a while. What seems to be the claim is that Fornjot, the giant, is the father of Kari, of the north wind, kind of like Boreas was the north wind in the Greek, the four animi. I'm getting a pop-up here that my battery's low. That's great. Got a wee bit more to say. Fornjot is this giant that's actually, if you go to the NASA website, it'll tell you a little bit about it, how this is an irregular moon of Saturn. So Fornjot, a giant that a moon is named after, and was the father of Kari, which in turn was the father of Jokul Frosti. So in a sense, Jokul Frosti is the son of the north wind. And I don't know that that's technically in any Norse books or any lore. As much as I like the sound of this folkloric character, I want to be very clear that, according to me, there is no such thing as Jokul Frosti, because it is incorrect what you see on Google that this equates Jack Frost somehow. If Jokul just means icicle in Icelandic, then that doesn't really equate in England in around the 1500s, how they would use Jack as a generic term for a male, such as Jack and the Beanstalk or Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. We've heard of jack-o'-lanterns, Jack in the Box. All of these things represent a male spirit, but Jokul, just because it starts with a J and so does Jack, correlation is not causation. What I'm contending is that it is very plausible that the Norse still personified Frost, although they may not have believed it to be the son of Kari. This may be a correspondence somebody created. But again, Jokul Frosti is not some Jack Frost character that the Vikings would have known. Just wanted to clarify that, because I know there's going to be some scallywag saying Jokul Frosti isn't real. That's great. Frost, which is a very old heathen word. The modern Icelandic is the closest to what Old Norse was. So they would have maybe looked at Frost in a similar light. He is capable of biting. We've all heard of being frostbit. This is the reason nobody wants Jokul Frosti around. He just kind of gets a bad rap. And it's not fair, because there's also frost flowers. I think it would have had some magical folklore about it, because It just seems mystical. That an ice flower is formed when thin layers of ice are extruded from long-stemmed plants in autumn or early winter. The thin layers of ice often form exquisite patterns that curl into petals and resemble flowers. Togabogi aga slangafol.